What is up, you guys? My name is Anton, and I do college football videos with Miami Hurricanes in focus. And you're like, Anton, why the heck are you so screaming? Why are you so loud? Why are you get excited? Well, first off, this video is going to have a whole bunch of gold nuggets, so much stuff to talk about, discuss. And the thing is, it's a great day to be a college football fan, especially if you're a Miami Hurricane fan. So, stick around, we've got a whole bunch of stuff for you. Now, today we're going to be talking about updates on the offense. We're going to have video clips, intermediate with them, and we're going to talk about what it's shaping up to be, and some unexpected candidates at the big Cain drill. Hint, they're not players. Before we get into it, I want to give a great shout out and thanks to all those media outlets that have been uploading these video clips and putting up these updates there. The description down below gives them credit for this work, so I really appreciate it for them, and y'all definitely check them out. So the first group we're going to talk about is wide receivers. Now, Enos, we mentioned before, got onto the wide receiver groups and Stubblefield for them not being lined up a couple practices ago. Well, Enos hasn't stopped that. In fact, he was coaching up the receivers himself today. You see in the clips after this, and it's great to see from an OC a bit concerned on, Stubblefield, what's going on there, but it's glad to see some of the staff stepped up regardless and holding the receiver core accountable. The other thing of note is Peyton has really impressed, and he continues to impress on and off the field. He's very mature. He's an early enrollee, so he's technically supposed to be a senior in high school. Both Diaz was really high on him, and many others, and he's impressed media also. So it noted that he acted himself maturely, and Hightower was saying, look, he's playing on our level. You can't tell that he's a freshman or early enrollee. All right, now the second part that we're going to talk about, and I know you guys want to hear about, is offensive line. We're all excited. Bro, what's going on with the offensive line? What are we going to do? We're scared. There's something like, dude, there's nothing to worry about. Well, here's the deal. Not much has changed in news-wise, except for John Campbell is back. He had a minor injury, and he's back in the rotation at right guard, or tackle, I should say. And so that's good. They're staying, they're practicing, they're working. But many of the players are really high on Butch Berry still, and they keep saying, and like, this guy's got an NFL mentality. But he was asked, what do you think when they mean about that? How do you feel when they say that? And well, you guys just listen to what he had to say.
What does that mean? What do you think that means to them?
I gotta be honest with you, I don't really know. It's kind of just the way I do things, So hopefully they're buying into what we're doing. It looks like they are. When I look on the film, it seems like fundamentally they're trying to do the things that we're asking them to do. It's continuing to progress each day to get better.
How is it a lot different for you being in college?
It's really not, to be honest with you, because especially with offensive linemen, they want to be coached and they want to get better. And they know that if you can help them get better, they're going to do what you ask. They're going to try to do what you're asking them. So, obviously, we've got great guys that are really good athletically, but those are the best in the world when you're in the NFL. Hopefully, we can get our guys to all to be that. I don't know that yet. So that would be, I would say, would be a little bit of a difference.
Now, summarize with the offensive line, the media did report and several others that, hey, they're actually holding on their own. They're actually being competitive against the D line, and we're doing pretty well and giving some gaps to the running backs and such. So it's good to hear of improvement there. There's much work to be done, but it's progressing. It's progressing. It's going steadily well. Now, guys, I really appreciate it. If you're enjoying this video, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button down below to join an exciting college football community. Cain's in focus, but you don't gotta be a Cain fan. We have all sorts of fans from Georgia, Florida, it don't matter where, USF, you name it, Wichita State if they have a football program. Just hit that subscribe button down below. Should be easy, completely free. You won't regret it, I promise. All right, now the tight ends. Now, there's not too much news except for the fact of, what's going on with Brevin Jordan. He's still not fully practicing. He was seen, though, in uniform, but he was probably practicing on his own next to outside, no contact, so that's what's going on there. But it's not serious. It's a day-to-day injury, and it looks like he is probably going to be back in a couple of practices or so. I don't know about scrimmage for the Saturday, though. Quarterback competition. Now, we all want to know who is quarterback number 1. Well, the rotation was number 1, Tate Martell, number 2, N'Kosi Perry, number 3, Jaron Rollins. It was also number 1, N'Kosi Perry, number 2, Tate Martell, number 3, it was also Jaron number 1. No, I'm just kidding. All right, y'all got the point. Every single drill had all of them being with the ones at one point or another. They're rotating them in and out. I don't overthink it, but it's always asked to me, like, who's number 1 in the rotation? They're just throwing them around everywhere. Enos himself alluded and talked about this, and he's continuing. And I'm going to emphasize, guys, don't look at the rotation, okay? But Enos said, he was pretty firm. He said, we're nowhere near championship level quarterback right now, which is kind of wowed me, and it's very stern, but I love it. I love him putting the quarterbacks to a very high level standard and him expecting a lot from them. He said Perry actually had the best day Saturday, but then him and all the quarterbacks have their ups and downs, and he said that Tuesday today he didn't do as well. Williams has this, pros and cons, and Tate Martell also, and he talks about it, so you go listen to him over here.
They're getting better in some areas. I think Tate is much more comfortable with the terminology than he was early. He's throwing the ball pretty effectively the last couple of days. We're really working with his eyes in the pocket, his eyes, his feet, his posture. He drifts around on his drops a lot. There's not a real distinct set timing of his drops. It's something that's new for him, and he's going to learn how to transition that we're asking him to do with his feet and do it during team situations where I'm not standing there with him telling him to do it every day.
Dan, you said a big part of the competition.
Now, the one thing I really want to take away from the quarterback's part is the fact that he also said the quarterback has to have a mind of a coach and the game of a player. And that just kind of gives you a little bit of an insight of what he's looking for in a quarterback and maybe who he might lean for. So he wants a very educated and competitive guy. So it's exciting to see his really high level of play that he's expecting from that room. He believes the tools are there. He's been at Alabama and he had Tua and Hurts, so he knows what it looks like. The linebacker crew, not really much to talk about there, or the secondary, except for, unfortunately, people have asked me about Amari Carter and how he's doing. Well, he's actually kind of injured. It's not a serious injury, but he was seen with a boot on his left leg. But it's day-to-day, Manny Diaz said, and he might be back even as soon as Thursday's practice, so we'll see what's going on there. Defensive line, not much to note there big, except for Nesta continues to just be a very competitive animal. The guys, the media, noticed and said, like, we hear him talking, trash talking, the guys are like, nobody can stop me, which I like hearing that. It's interesting to see that, and I hope he just continues to be very competitive. But the O-line, they gotta step up, so it's exciting to see that. Not much else to mention except for the scrimmage part. So Manny Diaz was to ask them after the game, like, dude, what is the scrimmage gonna look like? He said it's gonna be like a game. And I love hearing that. And maybe my prediction of saying, hey, there's 3 scrimmages, there's 3 quarterbacks, give a scrimmage to each quarterback, throw them in, which one gets the offense humming the best, that's your guy. Now, it may not be exactly that, but we'll see. I love seeing that. That's the plan for scrimmage. This first one is closed off Saturday. Keep that in mind. But we'll see in here in the next 2 coming up soon, so this is pretty awesome to hear about that. The offense, yeah, it's shaping up. It's going to be different if you haven't noticed yet. 2 tight end sets are being used, play action, motions, and there is news now that the fullback is being used also, which we kind of mentioned before in previous live streams, and we're like, is he going to use that? You know, kind of used that at Arkansas and such. Yep, Realist George is going to get some touches. It's really exciting to see him use that fullback position, so definitely a lot of potential and athleticism to tap in there. Now, the Big Cain drill, the one that you guys have been waiting for. One-on-one drills. Who was in? Who won? All right, Patrick Joyner is your winner for today. DJ Dallas, Al Blades was in there. It's kind of hard to tell with these guys, but here's the ones that we did not expect to hear about, and the media pointed out that, hey, check out, these guys were in it. They had GAs, graduate assistants, going at each other. Some of the staff members in the Big Cain drill, which the offensive assistant won that one, trying to piece together what exactly happened because the media can't get close to the 50 players or more surrounding this. Michael Irvin was shouted out at one point, and then the offense was being swarmed. I'm assuming the offense may have won the day or whatever that was going on, or just celebrated offensive assistants, but that's what's going on. Not even the players are limited to the Big Cain drill, so that's interesting to hear about. Guys, practice gets crazy, stuff happens, but hey, it doesn't matter. It's always all about the you. If you stayed all the way to the end of this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you check out the link down below that has Patreon under it. This is my page right here. All you have to do is just click on that link. It will take you over here, and you have different tiers of benefits. If you can support me for as little as $1 a month to as much as over $50 a month, whatever you can do. Anything helps. I greatly appreciate it. I don't want to give a personal shout out to Greg Bush being the first Patreon to support me as a creator. Thank you so much, Greg. I greatly appreciate your core support always through the beginning of this channel. If you also want to be shouted out at the end of the video or get a different sort of benefit, check the link down below.
Summer